My son recently called me, the one that plays basketball. He's a basketball player at Liberty University. And the entire team was on their way to one of their games this season. And he said, Mom, on this plane, and they have traveled a lot. My son's traveled with me and their dad for most of their upbringing everywhere. So they've been on a ton of planes. But he said, Mom, this is one plane ride that I would have preferred not to take because the turbulence was outrageous. You know how it feels when you're taking a plane ride and the turbulence starts, and at first you're like, oh, that's no big deal. But then if it keeps going, there's something in you that goes, uh-oh. So for a bunch of 19-year-old, 20, 21-year-old boys, for them to get to the point that they were like, wait a minute, are we okay? Wait a minute, is this it? He said the turbulence was so violent and the turbulence lasted so long. He said, I could see that my teammates and I could feel in my own heart that we were actually really concerned as to whether or not we were going to be able to make it through this storm that we were going through. And he said, it was so bad, Mom, that when we finally landed, the relief escalated so fully that everybody just started clapping on the whole plane, that they had made it back on solid ground. There was a huge relief that they made it because the turbulence had been so bad. He said, so Mom, on the way out, we were so ready to get our bags and get out of there. He said, I happened to get to the front of the plane at the same time the pilot was coming out. So I saw the pilot and I said to the pilot, were you worried about this turbulence? He said, the pilot looked back at me and said, well, yeah, I feel what you feel. But then he said, I deal with my feelings differently, though, because I have a perspective that y'all don't have. I can see things clearly that y'all can't see. And he said, I also have tools and equipment and instrument at my disposal that y'all don't know how to work, but I do. I know how to utilize what it is that has been made available to me to make sure that we make it safely on ground. So you can relax because I'm relaxed. You serve a great high priest who feels what you feel. This is what makes our relationship with our God so magnificent, that he sits up high, but he keeps condescending to feel what we feel. He doesn't have to care that much about what you feel, about the tears that fall down from your eyes, about what keeps me up at night concerned about my children or about financial situations or the struggle in our health. God doesn't really have to care. And yet he chose, even 2,000 years ago, to put on flesh, to live where we live, to walk where we walked, to experience without sin exactly what we experienced, so that we could serve a great high priest who says, I feel you. But he's so great that not only does he sympathize with us in his humanity, but then he can turn around in his deity and actually do something about the problems that we are facing, because he has a perspective we do not have. He has instruments at his disposal, the likes of which we couldn't even figure out how to operate if we tried. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. As high as the heavens are above the earth, that's how high his ways are, and his thoughts are above our own. So the reason why you can relax this is because you have a pilot that is at the steering wheel of what is happening in your life, and he's got it all under control. Don't be so overwhelmed by the storm, because you are with him in heavenly places.